How is everybody doing today? How's everyone doing? It is Friday. Yep, it's Friday. Not that that makes a huge difference to me, because all my days tend to look the same. Well, actually they don't. They're usually like really different, but weekends don't tend to be any different for me than weekdays. I can have a fun day on the weekday or the weekend. It doesn't matter. But so interestingly enough, I have all morning been kind of going back and forth. Hold on. I have to turn off my, sorry you guys get to see my finger in your face. I want to turn off my my phone, that way we don't get interrupted, because the last few lives somebody's called me in the middle of my life. Okay. But I all morning have been kind of going back and forth about this topic, because it is really controversial, and I know it's going to piss some people off. I know, and that's okay. That's okay, because the fact is I am fired up about it, and you know, the truth is not everybody has to agree with me, and it is my authentic feelings about coaches and the coaching field. And as much as I think the coaching world is beautiful and is so transformational for so many people, it allows us to really bring in different pieces that normally wouldn't get brought in. So I want to start actually with the fact that, so I started my career as a therapist. A lot of you know that. I spent years in eating disorder therapy, addictions therapy. I ran some treatment centers, some outpatient centers. I worked with people with sex addiction, all kinds of anxiety disorders, depression, body image issues is where I spent a lot of my time, cutting, all of that. But I was like strict, firm therapist. Like there was no moving me. I was like strict, firm ethics therapist. And something that most people don't know about the therapy field, and I think it has definitely shifted a lot over the last few years. But I remember when I was first in grad school and coaching was starting to kind of become a thing, all the therapists talking about how inappropriate it was, how it should be banned, how it wasn't okay. And I remember kind of sitting on the fence of this issue and being like, well, I do think it's okay, and I don't think you necessarily need a master's degree and 3 licenses like I had, and all of this stuff to help people. I think that's bullshit. I don't think that's the truth. Though, I did have this feeling of like, yeah, like you do need some kind of training. You should have some kind of training in working with individuals in order to kind of be helping somebody. And so that was my feeling back then. And then I did my transition over to coaching, because the truth is I saw such a regimented kind of fit in therapy, and I wanted something else. I wanted to be able to incorporate different things. I wanted to be able to pull in my tantric flair of like pulling it all together and weaving it all together, and it was beautiful and I loved it. However, now I sit and this morning, actually probably for the last 48 hours, I have been and then also just kind of here and there over the last few months, but especially in the last 48 hours, I have been hit with a lot of coaches that I'm like, you don't belong coaching. You don't belong coaching. Like, you shouldn't be coaching. Like, you are a wolf in sheep's clothing here. And it's like people that I've kind of seen popping up, and then I'm going to get into it in a minute, but just an interaction I had, and it has come to my kind of awareness that although my thoughts on this have shifted a little bit, I do believe there are a lot of coaches out there, and again, I know I'm about to piss people off, and that's okay. That's okay. You're allowed to have a different opinion than me. That's the beauty of Facebook and a tribe. Those who resonate with my message get to resonate with my message. Those that disagree, you're welcome to disagree as well. But I'm hearing a lot of like, well, if you want to coach on something, you can just coach on it. And that is the feel. Like, Like I took a online self-love course on learning self-love, and now I can call myself a coach and teach self-love to everybody. And what I'm noticing is people calling themselves coaches that have not really learned anything about human behavior. They took maybe a quick little online course that was actually more for personal growth, and now they think that they're an expert in it. And again, I don't think you need a master's degree in everything in order to teach on it or educate or help somebody. But I do believe if you were stepping into the coaching field, you have a responsibility to learn more about human behavior. I've recently, because I am very active in the sex and relationship field, because that's where my coaching practice first started, I see a lot of coaches that did some sex education, and now they think that they can help people in all these other areas without having taken any courses, without having done any actual deeper education in the field, thinking that they can go from teaching on sex to all of a sudden, okay, now I'm going to be, an eating disorder coach, or now I'm going to help people with addictions, having never actually studied that at all. And I think there is a middle ground here. Again, I don't think you need a master's degree in everything to teach. I have many of you, I have a beautiful friend, and this friend is actually probably more knowledgeable than most of the therapists I know. And she has done her work. She gets in there. She does her personal growth work. She gets in there. She is always learning, educating herself, expanding herself. And that is such a fucking beautiful example of an amazing coach that has stepped up, has stepped in, is doing her education, maybe not in the traditional sense of like therapists or like healers, but is doing a different kind of education and is stepping into her healing and that is beautiful. That is what I love to see, and that is where I go, like, yes, like coaching can be an amazing thing. But I think that there is all these people stepping into these areas, and what I'm seeing and what some of my clients bring to me are these times when their coaches are actually doing more harm than good because they haven't done enough of their own personal work. And so what they're doing is they're stepping into areas that they don't belong in and actually doing more harm because they haven't done any education on active listening. They haven't done education on how to hold space for somebody. They're not holding their own integrity. They are not actually expanding themselves. And so this is what I actually like. I almost feel like a calling that I have to go. If you are desiring to hire a coach, make sure, and I'm not saying like show certifications, but make sure they are doing their work. They are always growing, they're always expanding, and expanding in not just one little area, but all the areas that they are claiming to work in. And then kind of on the opposite side, so yes, I'm seeing lots of coaches that are like, yeah, I had this experience, so I'm going to go call myself a coach, and I'm going to say I coach on everything, which actually, that comes into a place of like, you can do harm. Like, I remember when I was still a therapist, I had a client who went to see an eating disorder coach, which there are some beautiful eating disorder coaches. She went to go see an eating disorder coach, and that coach put her on a weight loss diet. And actually, this woman ended up suffering many more years because of it. Because that coach had her own eating disorder, hadn't done her work, was stepping into an area she didn't know anything about, really, the complexity, the dynamics, the depth, and ended up actually doing more harm. And so I ask you, coaches, because this video is really for coaches, but also for people looking for coaches, to do your due diligence. Yes, like, feel into your coach. Make sure that their alignment, they feel good to you. But also ask, like, are you doing your own work? Like, do you do your own work? Do you expand? Like, I don't think you need to, again, have like a packet like this of their certifications. But you can tell if somebody is doing their own work. But then the other piece of this, and this is something that I've actually had to do in the past, because I think all healers and all coaches can do this. I think we all mess up. Every single one of us. None of us are perfect. No therapist, no healer, no coach. We're not perfect. And there comes times in our life when we are not in integrity. And this is kind of why my last 48 hours, this has been coming up. I've been in a conversation with actually a group of coaches. And one of the coaches, like, inappropriately, without my consent, posted a private thread on several threads. And then when they were called out, they said, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then they went and they did it a couple more times. And when I called them out on it, they retracted. They couldn't stand in their integrity. They couldn't stand up for what they had said. And this coach's platform is all integrity, all about really, speaking the truth and being honest and kind of staying in that level of, like, kind of heat and fire that we all get in. And so I was like, I can't support you as a coach anymore. I can't support you. I actually think you should stop being a coach for a little while until you get yourself in order. And I verbalized that because it is my true feelings because of the lack of integrity and the platform she's running on. And that was one example, but I actually have seen lots of people who fall out of alignment. Not saying that they never were in alignment, but they fall out of alignment. They're stepping out. Their stuff is getting too much in the way, which we all have stuff. So I don't want to be mean here, because we all have our stuff and we all get triggered and we all have things going on in times in our life when we are not at our best. But it is your responsibility as a coach to really recognize those periods and step back and go, okay, I'm going to go do my work over here. I'm going to go heal myself over here because I am totally out of alignment, and my alignment, that energy, doesn't even matter what you're saying to your clients, that energy is going to do harm. It's going to do harm to your clients, even if they're not part of it. That energy will do harm to your clients if you are that out of integrity. Wow. Sorry, you guys went for a ride for a second. It's the wind. Texas wind. But to really recognize when you're not in alignment, and then just be good with the fact that sometimes we all need to take a break. We all need to step back. I remember, kind of going back to my therapist years, I remember before I became a therapist, I actually chose to stop my internship at one point because I was like, I need to go take care of myself. I need to go do my own work. And I've shared many times that I had like this raging eating disorder. And so I went and I took a break and I went and I did my own work. And then I came back and then I was capable of seeing clients. Then I wasn't in alignment with seeing clients. Then I was in a place. And I've had other times in my life where as a coach, as a straight coach, where I've gone, I'm going to take like 2 weeks off right now because I need to go and do my work. I need to go do my journaling. I need to expand myself and do my own healing here before I can step in with clients and be authentic and be real and own my stuff and not spread my stuff onto other people. It's like one of my favorite quotes that is actually a newer quote is if you don't heal what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. And it's an unknown author, but it is the truth. So if we will end up bleeding on our clients, we will end up doing harm to our clients, we will just mess up our entire lives if we don't take the time for us to do our inner work. And I see so many coaches not doing their inner work. And so when I go to see a coach, because I am all about like seeing every once in a while, like going and doing my own coaching. Like I am a firm believer in always doing your inner growth work, whether that always has to be with a coach or sometimes on your own. But I'm very cognizant of when I need to step in and do my own coaching and I need to get my own shit in order. And I think that is such a huge sign of a coach on their right path, a coach in alignment with their message, a coach that realizes that they're not perfect and they have their own faults and they need to kind of do their own work. And so if you're a coach out there and have just literally just been a person who was, that one day decided, oh, I'm going to be a coach. I don't know anything about the coaching world, but I'm going to be a coach. I'm not going to go learn. I'm going to do the certification that has nothing to do or has little to do with human behavior. And because the truth is, at the end of the day, I don't care if you're working with sex, relationships, money, business, no matter what, you're still working with humans. You're still working with humans. And so if you've not done your work, and on this one, I actually mean your work, like studying and learning and exploring and expanding in that level, you don't belong coaching somebody on something that includes human behavior. You have to step in and you have to keep learning. So again, you don't need a master's degree in psychology and counseling like I have. Like, I don't think that's correct, but you do need to be stepping in and expanding. This is when you see those coaches, a lot of times it can be coming from a beautiful place. However, it also can be coming from just I want to make money place. And so as a coach, if you are a fellow coach, like I very much respect your desire to help people. My suggestion would be to learn more, make sure you're expanding, make sure you are truly continuing to grow yourself. And if you are a consumer of coaches, make sure your coach has done their work, has done some deeper training, deeper level of work in the area you're having them coach you on. Like I said, I know lots of coaches that are like, no, I'm a coach because I took this, little, sex training. Well, no, I'm sorry, but that doesn't give you a full knowledge of human behavior, so you need to be expanding yourself out into other areas as well. True knowledge of humans, of the spirit, of the soul, wherever you want to go. But at the end of the day, if you're a coach or you're a healer and you're not doing your own work, you are doing way more harm than good to your clients. And you will start to see your clients continue to have the same issues as you if you don't do your work. And if you're a consumer of coaches, just do your due diligence of asking the right questions. Just ask the right questions, and make sure that you are in true alignment with that person, that they feel good to you, that they feel an integrity, they feel authentic. Trust your core, because I think our core and our spirit really does tell us a lot about where we need to go, what our lessons are, what we need to do. And if you're a coach that is just simply fallen out of alignment, which we all do at times, and it's all perfect and all in our path, but try to take a break, find that, refine that alignment, take the time to work on self, take the time for your business, because at the end of the day, taking 2-3 weeks, a month to work on self is going to be so much more beneficial to your business than continuing to pound it out and doing harm to yourself, because you inevitably will be doing harm to your client. So, soapbox over. Stop being an asshole. Do your work, coaches. End of story. On that same note, on a similar note, if you are a person in the DFW area, have lots of events coming up. I'm not going to announce them all because it is a lot of events. But please go to addisonbell.net and go to the events page. I have pujas, integrative pujas coming up in a week and a half. It is going to be a puja like you've never seen before if you've ever attended a puja. Puja just means celebration, guys. So if you're in the DFW area, please join me for this beautiful celebration and integration of self-love, because it is a self-love puja. And then we have another puja coming up in the near future. Then Female Orgasm Camp. Kendall Williams is doing a tantric certification program. So please go to my events page. I'm not going to go into all of it. Please go to my events page, check it out. And then I always have my one-on-one coaching. I have my one-on-one coaching programs, my VIP packages. And so you can join me in my subscription, in my VIP in-person coaching. There's so many opportunities for you to get the healing you need to get. So Alright guys, I'm going to let you go because it's getting hot out here. I love you guys. Go do your work, beautiful people. I love my tribe, and